Bell and Haruhime spend the nights together. Although many would love for this to mean something deeper and more intimate, that's not quite what happened here. I mean, for a while, Haruhime did go to Bell's room every night and stayed with him for a bit, but not in the way you might think or hope for. Bell and Haruhime, after returning from the deep floors, experience a very interesting development, and that's one of the reasons that I genuinely like her so much. That is why Haruhime is in my top girls I had loved to see with Bell, right after Ai's, Ryu and Aina. Unfortunately, the anime cut this part out, but that is why I'm here to tell you all about it. But before that, I invite you to join our family by subscribing to the channel to support my work and give me a like to support the video. We start with Bell's first status update after his return from the deep floors. When Hessia saw how his stats had skyrocketed from 0 to 700 in almost every category, she was shocked by what Bell had accomplished down there and started asking questions about it. She was staring as she examined his fauna, completely perplexed. They were, of course, at the Hearthstone Manor, and here Hessia tried to keep up her usual cheer demeanor, even putting on a little show by pretending to feel exhausted after updating Bell's status, just to lighten the mood. But this was nothing more than her refusal to face the reality of the situation. Bell had gained a total of 3,400 stats points, not just a personal record for Bell, but a record-breaking feat on a global scale. After all, Bell didn't spend much time gathering Excelia to update his status all at once. He went on one adventure and grew this much. One adventure. This is also proof that Bell survived a series of brutal encounters that, if even one had gone wrong, he had already been chilling in heaven with Jesus himself. And Bell, still acting a bit strange, as he stared at his status page, admitted that he almost died about 8 times, and Hessia had somewhat suspected this, having heard reports about it. The Mos Rouge, the Lambton, the Juggernaut, and how Bell was relentless pursuing the deep floors, nearly dying just from wandering there. In fact, when she first heard about this, she literally fainted, collapsed on the spot. And after confirming all these stories through Bell's fauna, Hessia was so drained that she had to postpone everyone else's updates to another day. This was too much for her. And after finishing his update, Bell left the mansion to take a walk around Orario and relax. He needed to rest, but first he had to deal with the sensation of being on the surface again after spending so much time in the deep floors. It was almost as if his body was asking for sunlight. So Bell and Welf went together, as Welf had taken on the responsibility of looking after Bell while his arm was bandaged. After all, if you remember, he wrecked his arm so badly during the expedition that when they got back, it was basically mush. Meat and blood everywhere. Bell pretty much turned in Wolverine at this point, with the bones in his arms practically turning into metal. And although Welf was with Bell, Lily also wanted to join, but she had to head to the guild to handle things, including the expedition report. And that is because they lied big time to the guild. If they admitted they had ventured into the deep floors, the guild would expect them to explore even deeper next time. So they are going to play dumb, lie straight to their faces, so that next time they won't have to go that far away again, especially since, aside from Bell, most of the family is pretty weak. And soon Welf brings up a sensitive topic for Bell. He mentions how Bell has been waking up in the middle of the night, jumping out of bed ever since they returned from the deep floors. Welf knows this because his room is right next to Bell's, so every time Bell wakes up in panic, Welf hears it too. And it is not just a simple panic. Bell wakes up already reaching his knives, ready for combat, as if he were in immediate danger. This happens because in the deep floors they couldn't rest for more than 5 minutes at a time, since they never knew when monsters would attack, trying to turn them into dinner. So even after returning to the city, Bell's body is still on edge and in constant state of alert, causing him to wake up repeatedly during the night. On top of that, whenever he does sleep, he has nightmares about his journey through the deep floors and about the challenges he had to face to survive. And all of these things make resting extremely difficult for him. Even when he sleeps, he is not resting. And Welf then asks if this means if Bell isn't sleeping well. And I mean, the guy literally just said he can't sleep properly. Come on, Wealth, you're better than this. Bell, however, brushes it off, saying it's fine and nothing serious. He even adds that Haruhime has probably noticed it too, as she always comes to check on him whenever he wakes up in the middle of the night. Apparently, Haruhime explained to him that back in Pleasure District, they were taught to be very attentive to whether the clients were sleeping well or not, which is how she picked up on Bell's sleepy issues. So when she goes to Bell's room, Haruhime holds his hand until he can fall asleep again. Often they read together, enjoying the heroic tales they both love so much. From Haruhime's perspective, she's spending a quality time with her beloved, but for Bell, it is more like having an older sister. And yes, he actually said it is how he imagined having an older sister would feel. This guy just can't have a break. And after explaining this to Elf, he tells Elf not to worry about him. He even blushes a little as he mentions that Haruhime visits his room every night, which at least shows he has some awareness about the situation. And Elf warns him to, under no circumstances should he ever let Hasha or Lily find out about this, otherwise literally hell on earth will break loose. And meanwhile, Bell thought it might be a good idea to release some of the tension he's building up for a while. He figured that top-tier adventures like Ice probably make it a priority to spend some aimless time wandering around, blending in with people, and gazing at the sky after returning from expeditions. It's almost like a ritual to regain a sense of self. After spending so much time in the dungeon, somehow even the surface becomes an overwhelming place. Here, he should be able to relax and finally rest, but instead, he feels tense and stressed. Everything seems strange to him. And this phenomenon actually has a name. It is called dungeon sickness. It is as if the adventurer can't adjust to feeling safe, unable to convince their body and mind that it's okay to relax, that they can finally take a break, maybe even swing by the red light district and out that. Because of this, even things that are normally relaxing and peaceful can stress out adventurers who are suffering from this sickness. That is why it's so important for adventurers to have this moment to reconnect with themselves and spend time doing literally nothing after returning. And as Bell and Wealth wandered around, many people recognize them, offering them fruits, encouraging them, asking about Bell's arm, and so on. As a level 4 and 2nd tier adventurer, Bell isn't just famous for his exploits. Reaching such a level is impressive in on itself. On top of that, Hasha is surprisingly well liked by the people of Horario. The citizens seems to have admired Hasha even before she freed them from Freya's charm, just because she's a good goddess. At one point here, Bell overheard some gods talking, and one of them is regretting that they never scouted Bell before, when he was a rookie and was looking for familias, and was rejected by everyone. Now Bell is practically a celebrity, and while he's happy about it, it's also quite confusing for him to adjust. He thought back to the time of the Xenos incident, when he was the focal point of all the city's anger and malice. Everyone despised and rejected him back then, and now everyone celebrates and praises him. As he reflected on everything he had been through, he suddenly heard a surprise voice, and when he turned around, Bell froze in place. It was a man wearing slightly tattered clothing. He was about twice Bell's age, with long black hair. After staring at each other for a moment, the man, wearing a strange expression, tried to turn around and walk away, but Bell stopped him and thanked him for the rye bread, bowing to him. The man looked back at Bell and, with a smile, commented on how much he had grown into a great adventurer, but he still remained the same at heart. Scratching his nose, the man stood there awkwardly, searching for words before finally telling Bell to stay strong, and Bell responded with a huge smile, clearly overjoyed about it. Many people wished him well, but hearing it from this man made Bell incredibly happy. This man had done a great favor for Bell a long time ago, helping him out even before he joined Hasha family and met his goddess Lily or Wealth. It was back when Bell had just arrived in Horario, but that is a story for other video, about how Bell arrived in the city and met Hasha, so if you are interested let me know. And it is for today, so comment below your opinion and if you had liked to see another video about Bell's origins. Give me a like to support my video and subscribe to the channel to support my work, and of course receive more content about Danmachi and other isekais. Now I'm out.